I'd like to ask the Chairman of the Manx Utilities Authority what environmental benefits are expected from the recently commissioned Balladoole Sewage Treatment Works, and to what extent improvements have already been achieved.
Following the Chairman's reply, Dr. Allinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Isle of Man programme for government provides a commitment to complete the regional sewage infrastructure by the end of this administration. This target is the cessation of the discharge of raw sewage into the Isle of Man's marine environment, and Manx Utilities takes its role in this programme very seriously. Completion of the original Ayre scheme and phase 1 of the regional sewage treatment strategy have successfully resulted in the majority of our towns and villages having modern sewage treatment, either by pumping into Mary Veg or by utilising the regional treatment works. Planning for phase 2 of the programme, which includes the final 3 locations at Peel, Laxey and Baldrine, is progressing well. This Honourable Court will of course be asked to sanction the necessary expenditure of this phase of the programme, and we will shortly be able to debate the strategy for phase 2 by considering an independent report commissioned by Manx Utilities and comparing that to the conclusions in the Environment and Infrastructure Review Committee's report tabled today. The final scheme in phase 1 of the RSTS programme was a new treatment works at Balladoole to treat sewage from both Ramsey and Andros. The expected environmental benefits of this were the cessation of the discharge of raw sewage from normal operations into Ramsey Bay and separately at Rue Point, and also ending the discharge of raw sewage into the marine environment that has had some key benefits, which includes the prevention of biodegradable items, which can have an adverse impact on marine wildlife entering the marine environment through the sewer system, and the prevention of a build-up of sewage litter on the beach, which can have an adverse impact on wildlife and beach users. It's also led to an improvement of bathing water quality. The new works at Balladoole was commissioned within budget during the summer of 2017 and is now fully operational and performing as expected. The final effluent quality is exceeding that required by DEFA for a discharge into the marine environment. There is now no discharge of sewage, treated or otherwise, at Rue Point. Feedback from our friends at Beach Buddies is that there is a significant reduction in the amount of sewage litter on Ramsey North Shore Beach. Since the works was commissioned, all the bathing water samples as taken by DEFA at Ramsey have been rated as excellent under the 2006 EU Bathing Water Directive. It should be noted that further infrastructure upgrades at and in the vicinity of the Vollum pumping station will also ensure that storm drainages are screened to the industrial standard of 6 millimetres to prevent anything other than storm sewage entering the marine environment. Designs such as this complement our Bin It, Don't Flush It initiative, which is also intended to help protect the environment. Manx Utilities will be mounting a campaign to reduce litter and plastics being flushed into the sewage system to try and start tackling the environmental damage they can cause. In conclusion, the expected environmental benefits of both the new Balladoole works and all of the other regional works constructed under the RTS project are being delivered. Thank you, Mr. President.
Supplementary, Mr. Hooper. Mr. Baker.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to thank the Chairman of the MUA for a very comprehensive answer there, and I'd like to congratulate him and his team for delivering what, in environmental terms, is clearly a substantial enhancement to our island's infrastructure. Could he clarify, please, what the MUA's investment in delivering the scheme was, and could he also clarify in a non-technical way how the facility or how the system now treats those items which he described as end up littering the beach, which I think were items such as baby wipes, cotton buds and tampons. How does the facility now treat those instead of releasing them into the sea as was previously happening?
Dr. Allinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first phase of the regional sewage treatment plant was brought in under budget, and the exact figures are in our annual report. In terms of screening for solid items that are flushed down the toilet, these are screened out at an early stage. Both these and the sludge are then taken to Mary Veg, where they're dried. and all that material is then burnt in the incinerator, creating electricity from waste.
Supplementary, Mr. Harmer.
Thank you. Would the Chairman agree with me that the same approach would be valuable and make a massive difference to both Peel and to Laxey?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would indeed. The Regional Sewage Treatment Programme has delivered for Ramsey, which relied on Victorian infrastructure that allowed raw sewage to be pumped out to the beach. Beach Buddies only today announced that since the scheme's come online, they've found almost none of the litter that was washed up in terms of nappy wipes and such. And the beach is much, much clearer, as well as the beach water quality for bathing, meeting the 2006 EU standards. The current scheme for Peel, although in its infancy, is meant to deliver similar benefits to the people of Peel, and I also hope that the schemes at Laxey, which will also serve with Baldrine, will produce similar benefits, so that the people of this island will both have cleaner beaches and safer water to bathe in.
Mr. Baker.
Thank you, Mr. President. Final supplementary from me. Would the Chairman agree with me that what Beach Buddies actually said was that the bringing on stream the Balladoole Sewage Treatment Works has actually transformed the Ramsey shoreline, and that at the previous beach clean in December they picked up more than 7,500 baby wipes in a single cleaning event. Would he also agree with me that the continued discharge of sewage and associated products into the sea is very difficult to reconcile with the island's biosphere status?
Dr. Alison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with the honourable member. The benefits of sewage treatment go above and beyond just what the beaches look like. They enhance the infrastructure, they enhance the environment, they enhance people's enjoyment of the environment, and they certainly add to that the biosphere status that we enjoy. However, I don't think we can be complacent. One of the problems with beaches is not only what we're pumping into the sea, but what's washed up on the sea. And that's why the work of organisations such as Beach Buddies and organisations across government to reduce litter and reduce waste going into the sea and onto our coastal environments is still very, very important.